So throw suggestions our way. I'll dress up in anything as long as my
Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Because I'm thinking Jessica Rabbit.
Oh God, no, that's too much. That's too much.
Welcome back, awesome people, to Cocktails and Consoles. It's Melissa, and I have a very special guest with me. It's John from Point Insertion. What's up, dude? How's it going?
I'm good. I'm good. I've driven all over creation, but I'm good.
This poor guy has been just all over the place today, and thankfully has taken a couple minutes to come on the show, which I'm so excited because this guy and his channel is so awesome. If you have not checked him out, please do. His contact information will be anywhere, and you know me. It's somewhere in this frame. I'm working on fixing all that up. So, John, I'm curious, what got you started on YouTube?
Oh, God. That's a really easy question. I was working with a film group out of Brooklyn, and we were talking about doing a machinima series. And what happened was that fell apart. So then I gathered my band of misfits together, and we made a machinima series that fell apart after 6 episodes.
Oh.
And then the channel, it didn't fall apart for any particular, well, it fell apart because I had to have emergency surgery, but eventually the channel just sat there for like 2 years, I think, about 2 years. And then when we started, Jason and I, we voice act. And then when we started voice acting, we were playing video games from like 12 till 2 in the morning. We're like, like if we're playing video games, let's just live stream them.
Right.
And that was it. We streamed in November 2015. And then we started streaming again in, I think, like late January of 2016. And that was really it.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That is quite the shotgun start. I have to admit, I'm so jealous. I love video games, and my sister always wanted to be a voice actor. What got you into voice acting, and did you find it a hard industry to get into?
My voice, enough people told me that my voice was good. And
he's got that golden radio voice.
The face for radio. It's expensive. It's expensive to get into, and it's hard to break. It takes a lot of work. You got to be doing 5, 6, 7 auditions a night in order to make it, and a little bit of anywhere. So,
wow.
Yeah. Well, because like while I was working my job, it's like work, come home, go to the gym, do voice acting, repeat, and all that stuff. So,
oh my God.
Yeah, we would do all that stuff at night.
Poor thing. So, do you find YouTube a lot easier to do than that lifestyle?
No.
Really?
No.
Wow.
No. I mean, it's easier to just. I mean, anyone can do it. I mean, listen, we live in such an age where everyone can just now hit stream now on my PS4 or my Xbox, and that's it. But making quality content is difficult.
It is.
That's the thing. I would say up until like 6 months ago, we were like, maybe it came around like in August is when we finally really hit our stride.
Wow.
But it's hard. You have to appease to a broad range of people, and if you don't do that, then you're SOL. So
kind of digging yourself a little hole or a little niche, depending on how you look at it. It's all about whatever you're looking to get out of YouTube, really.
Yeah, like the kind of community you want to cultivate and things like that. And, over time, you see the numbers grow over time. Like first it started with like, we would have 3 or 4 people watching us with like our low end, like very unprofessional channel. And then, when we started flipping on all those switches saying, we need this stuff now because the channel is growing, it grows. It went from like I said, whatever that number was, 2 to 5 people. Then it went to 10. Now it's starting to peak out at 15 every stream. And, it was originally like, 20 to 30 views a stream. And now it's gone. It's easily close to 100 every time we stream, or well above 100. So
that's amazing. That's a really good turnout. What's been your favorite game to stream or even just play on YouTube so far?
As a group, watching Sal play Legend of Zelda has been one of the best experiences of my life because he is god-awful at it. And we get to sit there and roast him while he plays. Personally, my favorite game to stream, I think Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 3, like, it was before we hit 100 subs. And that's when people just started. I realized that people will come in based on the games you play, and your commentary, and it just kind of like the channel started the snowball there, and it was just like Dark Souls really was like one of my favorite games because people like coming in to kind of like help you because that's a very like community focused game, and people love to come in and help and talk about Dark Souls and just breathe Dark Souls, and it was really like one of the most active streams I've been part of as a person, and they get as a solo doing it solo when the guys aren't with me. So
That's
yeah.
awesome. So I can tell you are a long-time gamer. When you talk to someone you just know, because I don't know, like I'm curious to hear your thoughts. When it comes to gaming, it's like you're either all in or you're all out. I've very rarely run into a couple people who are like, yeah, I'll play a AAA title like once a year. Like, no, no, no,
Mhm.
no, no. It's an
Yeah, I know what you mean.
addiction.
I know what you mean. Um, what's the question? I'm sorry.
I This is how I run these things. I have no script, by the way. He's far more professional than I. Yeah, so I was kind of curious to say, like, when you're out and about and you're talking with people, because gaming is one of those hard things to kind of broach, as I think we're finding YouTube is as well. I'll get into a whole thing on YouTube TV, which I think is going to be interesting. But like when it comes to gaming, I found that people are either they're all into that lifestyle or they want like nothing to do with that. Has that kind of been your experience?
I think over the oh God, like I could give you such a big history. I spent probably like 16, 15 years on System Wars, the GameSpot boards, before the forums kind of took a sharp left-hand turn and a lot of the community left. But I feel like it used to be an all-in or all-out thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think people are starting to be like, I play this game on my phone, or
That's a
um,
good point.
yeah, like it's gone to a mobile realm where
Mm.
people will like, I'll just play this on my cell phone. This is a good time killer. Like, I mean, there are a lot of good free games like Dots or what is it? What's the one like Frogger? I forgot the name of it. Crossy Road, or
Mm-hmm.
or like Simpsons Tap Out, or any of those free to play games where you like people are like, oh, I just spend $5 to $10 on that game, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
I think as far as like people with AAA games and things like that go, I think it's definitely like an all in or all out thing. But I
Mm-hmm.
think gaming has become um, I think it's become more wildly accepted by people. It's a social norm now.
That's true.
Video games aren't just for boys anymore.
Mobile games really have become kind of the bridge, hasn't it? For people who want like nothing to do with games, it's that great thing to do when you're stuck in line at the bank or you're stuck in line trying to pick up dinner and you
Riding the
need
sub, like
something.
at least here in New York, riding the subway, riding the
Oh
bus,
my gosh.
riding the train,
Hmm.
and I'm sure California. I don't know where you are specifically, but like I know San Francisco. They have the BART, the bus system, and things like
Hmm.
that. Just like but you're gonna have a lot of time to do something. People are either gonna be reading information or playing a game on their phone.
Hmm.
You know,
That's true.
that's my interpretation of it. So.
Yeah, and it's nice to see that gaming, to your point, has become so much more accepted that, you almost don't feel. I used to feel there was a stigma, like being an adult and playing games, like, oh my God, are people going to look at me like, really, honey, you're not 12 anymore? But yeah, it's become much more commonplace now and very much accepted that if you're into gaming, people are like, oh, okay, they may not get it, but, you know,
They're like, oh, they play video games.
yeah,
That's it. Yeah, it's not like a, you know,
taboo.
yeah, it's really not anymore. And I think the way the market has turned towards people, it's becoming, like I said, like a lot more commonplace and a lot more like acceptable and out of nerd culture.
Right.
So,
Although we do love being a diehard nerd sometimes.
yeah, yeah.
Speaking of tech, I'm also really curious because I'm sure you've heard the announcement that YouTube TV is going to be a thing.
I know.
Oh my gosh. So this is something I'm really excited about because beyond just trying to talk to people about games, trying to talk to people about YouTube is such a foreign concept because I still feel like there's a big generation out there who doesn't, in their heads, they don't put together YouTube and, like content that you would find on TV, which I think we're almost getting to that point where TV's always going to outrank us because they have the budget, but the content you can find on YouTube is pretty spectacular, just given that people are doing this as a hobby. It's not, well, not for most. Not for most, it's not their, main way of life. That's why I'm so excited that YouTube TV is going to become a thing to kind of reach out to these people and say, hey, get rid of your cable. Who needs it? You want to buy blah, blah, blah. You want to pay for all those channels? You can just come to YouTube. Like me, I watch more YouTube than I do anything else. I've gotten rid of cable. By the way, I'm not sponsored unless YouTube really wants to be generous, but I'm sure they have other avenues. So that's what I'm excited about, because it'll finally reach out to those people who don't think of going to YouTube to find content, and that will bring them to us as the smaller end content creators, and open up a whole new avenue of people to enjoy our content.
Now, is this a spinoff from YouTube Red? Is this what YouTube Red is becoming?
That is the big question. I don't think if they've defined it. I haven't really seen the details of it yet.
Because that's what YouTube Red was originally trying to be. It was supposed to be this thing for the heavyweight content creators in order to like make TV shows and this and that. If YouTube Red is becoming YouTube TV, how will it really affect the smaller channels? Will they throw the thing about YouTube is, for the heavy hitters, it's like network TV. It's like a TV show. Everyone's always going to look to find the content they want.
Right.
The thing is, as content creators ourselves, do we pay into this ecosystem? Will YouTube be like, hey, recommended for you like they do now, or will it be like things like that? Those are the questions you have to ask.
Absolutely.
As far as cord cutting goes, I think that's been going on the past 5-10 years, or actually like maybe closer to 5 years, where it's just like I cut my cable.
You too?
Yeah, I cut my cable like almost 7 years ago.
Wow. Yeah.
And I've just been living on Netflix and whatever else is available, and there's always a way to watch something what you want. I mean, obviously, as you get older, time diminishes.
Of course.
So it's just like, why do I need to pay for cable? But that being said, it'll be interesting how it interacts with the smaller channels. Are they actually bringing like TV networks into this?
I don't know for certain. I know they've been in a lot of discussions with them. I could easily see, especially depending on how some of the smaller networks may be running into some issues with the bigger conglomerates, that YouTube might try to make themselves much more appealing by saying, hey, fewer strings, come to us.
Yeah. I mean, like I'm looking at an article here to see what it is, and it says like The Flash and blah, blah, blah. Like the thing the biggest question I have is, with services like Amazon Prime and being able to buy TV shows by the season, the day after they come out now. Or I mean, like episodes the day after they come out.
I love that.
I love it too. But like, if I'm paying $9.99 to YouTube, will I have unlimited rewatchability? Will it be like, hey, you can stream The Flash season 3 as often as you want, as long as you're up to the service. Like, we'll have the episode out the very next day and blah blah blah. Because I would pay for that immediately. Right. There are a couple TV shows on TV that I want to watch the day after. And I think it's a big like a stick to Amazon and selling the episodes, for $3.99 for HD. That's already half the cost, $9.99 a month. So if they bring in networks like CW and AMC and things like that, I think it'll really work.
Yeah,
and I think it'll really work. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. Which all leading into, if you guys have not checked out his podcast, I highly recommend it. It really gets you thinking, and it's a great avenue to meet a lot of other YouTubers and to kind of talk what we do. What day specifically do you run your podcast?
The podcast is run Wednesdays, usually from 8:30 to 9:30. Sometimes we push it back a half an hour because a lot of the guys who run it, we had some guys from System Wars start the podcast, and they were generous enough to invite me in. And then, we tried to grow it and things like that, but that's not the question. We run it from usually 8:30 to 9:30 every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday. Very
It goes
awesome.
live at 8:30, maybe like 8:31 the latest.
Very
You know
cool.
how it goes. You try to start up a stream and you're like, this isn't ready, that's not ready,
Oh
and
my
you try to get
God,
like
yes.
7 things done in 60 seconds, and you're like,
Yeah. And you're watching that chat just.
they're like, where are you? They're like, where are you guys? That's why we started implementing, like, I think it's a little detrimental, like the whole, like, you see the splash screen of people going, the stream is starting soon, but like nobody, like, I hate to say it, and even we've used it. I hate it's a benefit and a detriment, and the benefit is that it builds up the chat so you can hit the ground running with the stream.
Right.
The detriment is if somebody finds your video, they're not going to want to start to like fast forward through when do they start.
Oh, I never thought about that. That's a very good point. I've been waiting to do a cocktail with this guy because he offered me an interesting challenge. I asked him, all right, what is your favorite drink? And he said Jack Daniels. Said,
just
okay,
Jack Daniels.
Just Jack Daniels. So I got a little challenge like, all right, he likes Jack Daniels. Okay. What if I told you you could take Jack Daniels and with a couple of tweaks, just make it even better?
If it's just adding lime, I know that tweak.
No, not lime.
I'd be thoroughly interested. I would drink it on the stream on Monday. I would drink it on the Zelda stream on Monday. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so all you're gonna need is some peach, which thankfully is starting to come into season, and cinnamon sticks.
Peach and cinnamon, interesting.
I would
question: Were you a bartender in your past life or in this life at all?
No, I get that question a lot. They're like, "Well, you like making cocktails, dude? Are you a bartender?" No, I just love cocktails. So I just go out and I research and I just kind of put some stuff together and see what works. And sometimes I get lucky, and sometimes I have to refilm, and sometimes I have to redo the thumbnail 3 times. The Minecraft Jello shot. Oh, that was just not working for me.
Square Jello shot.
Square Jello shots, yes. But this one I really, really like because it doesn't take a lot. I mean, Jack Daniels on its own is very good. But what I like to do, especially with whiskey, because there's so many notes in whiskey that you can kind of tweak a couple of them and then just kind of, not to sound like Gordon Ramsay, lift the whole thing up, and it's really, really good. So for those of you guys who are out there, you've probably seen on many different people's channels the whole, you put smoke into a glass and woo, your drink now tastes smoky. There's one thing that they're missing, and I will say this, there is one thing that they're missing, and that a glass has nothing to give it cling unless you give it something to stick to. So,
interesting.
Before we put the smoke in the glass, I'm actually going to rub the inside of the glass with peach. Now, you can use anything with sugar, you can use anything with fat, because either of those two are going to cling. It's something in the molecular structure. It clings to other flavors. So you don't need nearly as much smoke, and you're not going to drink something that tastes like, oh God, why is this burning in my mouth? And now for the fun part. This would taste a lot better with nutmeg. The problem is trying to get nutmeg to light is very tricky. And there's a whole bunch of other compounds in it that are just really, really bad. So I like to use cinnamon sticks. So just take a lighter. Getting this thing started is always a trick and a half. And you just start to set the end of it on fire. And it smells so good.
Oh, God, that's a good idea. Putting cinnamon sticks in candles?
Mm-hmm.
God, yes.
Once you start to see a little bit of smoke coming off, there we go. We're just going to stick it on the inside of the glass and just kind of run it around.
Interesting.
So you can see, hopefully, if Skype can pick it up, the smoke that's in the glass.
Yeah, I can see it, yeah.
Now we've given it something to stick to. Oh my God, this smells really good. Now we take his all-time favorite, Jack Daniels. There's actually Gentleman Jack, which I think is supposed to be their, next step up. I got it as a gift from someone, so.
Gentleman is very good. I've had Gentleman Jack.
Oh, good. And then I'm going to stick, use one at a time, just a slice of peach on the inside. That was supposed to sit upright. Well. And then pour. And then once you get done drinking, you get to eat the whiskey-soaked peach at the bottom.
Nice.
And there you have it.
Ooh, I like that. It's fancy.
See, just two steps.
I drink out of a yellow cup that says Steeler Nation.
Nice. Oh, hang on a second. Yeah, the smokiness really comes through. Plus, it also has that nice sweetness from the peach, but it doesn't overwhelm the whiskey, which is the key thing, because you want this to be the star. These are just as backup singers. And oh man, if you could smell the cinnamon in the house, it smells like apple pie baking.
Oh my God! Stop! You're making me hungry.
Yay! Oh God, that's good. So if you haven't already, please go check out John's channel, Point Insertion. He's a great guy. He has wonderful content, and I believe you got a goal coming up here where you are going to be wearing a dress and some makeup.
Well, let's rewind that just a little bit. At 400 subs, we decided to do the blind makeup challenge. So for those of you who know Dylan, we are going to all wear blindfolds and do 5 minutes of makeup on his face, and he has to sit through the whole live stream with makeup on his face.
So cruel.
And then at 500 subs, we are putting me in a dress.
Nice.
And full makeup. We've discussed a wig. We think might be funnier without a wig. We're not sure yet, but
please don't shave either, because that'd be hilarious.
No, we're not going to shave. I'm not going to shave. And we've been looking at a bunch of different dresses. Somebody told me I needed to dress in a Victorian style dress. We've even gotten dresses from Target that I have to dress like a classy Parisian escort. So throw suggestions our way. I'll dress up in anything as long as my...
Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Because I'm thinking Jessica Rabbit.
Oh, God, no. That's too much. That's too much. God.
This is what happens when you leave it up to the fans.
Oh, we already ate a habanero pepper. I don't know if you saw that, but
did.
that was my own creation. That was my own doing too. The guys we thought Sal exploded because we didn't hear from him for like a week. So, yeah. But yeah, at 500, we're at 409. And once we hit 500, 90 more, I will be in a dress for a Monday live stream and a podcast.
Fantastic. So if you guys would like to see that, and you want to throw him some support there, go to his channel. If you like his content, give him a sub, give him a like, give him some feedback, because John's all about making content that people really want to see.
And we can't do that without people telling us things.
Bingo. For better or for worse, whatever your thoughts are. I mean, we're all small, YouTube creators. Let us know, because otherwise we're just creating stuff in a vacuum. Well, John, thank you so much for being on the show. Absolute pleasure having you here.
Thank you for having me.
Yay! Like I said, go say hi to him. He always reads chat in his live streams, which I absolutely love.
That's
Critical.
Big thing. We do not. They yell at me now though sometimes because I'm always holding onto the laptop. When we first started Lowbrow, I would be like, "Oh, I gotta hold onto the tablet and read all the comments." And now that switched to the laptop, they're like, "John, put the goddamn laptop down and just read the comments."
He's so good about it too. I love that. Well, thank you, John, and thank you guys for watching, and we will see you, awesome people, in the next episode. Cheers!
Woo!